Have you ever wondered why your calm changes a room more than anyone's noise? Why people breathe easier when you arrive? Not because you speak louder, but because something in you is aligned. Chosen one. That is the mark of rarity. True rarity is not performance. It's coherence. It is the quiet strength of a life whose inside and outside tell the same story at the same temperature. It's not spectacle or shine. It's truth lived steadily enough to glow. Your aura has become rare, not because it's decorated, but because it's clean. It no longer advertises. It doesn't chase or convince. It simply arrives at a human pace and rearranges the air without asking permission. It makes truth feel safe again and goodness repeatable again. People try to name it charisma, mystery, magnetism, but what they're really touching is reliability that glows. In a world addicted to performance, you are unforgettable because you are proportioned. You move in peace. You speak only what the moment can hold. You refuse to let urgency pretend to be importance. You refuse to let panic wear the crown. You are not for sale to the crowd. And because of that, the crowd rests. Men stop competing and start carrying. Women stop defending and start choosing color again. Even the inner child inside grown bodies stops flinching. The temperature lowers from fever to human. The world remembers that it's not a stage. It's a home. Your aura's beauty isn't crafted through spectacle. It's built through invisible faithfulness. You begin what you said you would, not for applause, but to honor the quiet hours that made that moment possible. You end while tenderness still breathes, because you love tomorrow enough not to steal from it. You explain your order, your limits, your timing with clarity, so others can inherit your rhythm. You are not manufacturing mystique. You are teaching coherence. Legends are heavy and fragile, but customs, the small ways of truth, are light and strong. You choose customs. Even your sexual energy has matured. It no longer hunts for validation or trades pressure for closeness. It no longer campaigns for touch. It flows clean, consent as grammar, timing as rhythm, dignity as law. The body reads this truth before the mind does. A no remains beautiful architecture, firm and kind. A yes arrives prepaid, owing nothing. A not yet stands like a season, patient and sacred. Under this order, admiration becomes safe. Desire becomes trustworthy. The feminine softens without fear. The masculine steadies without performance. Heat remains, but harm does not. Even the physical world listens to you now. Your hands treat fragile things as sacred. Your feet measure steps by purpose, not pressure. Your shoulders widen paths through crowds. Your voice carries tone that survives the morning. These small mercies are not manners. They're spiritual mechanics. They teach teams to stay dignified and hearts to stay gentle long after you're gone. Your energy lingers. Doors close softly. Credit finds hidden hands. Jokes stay kind. The aura becomes atmosphere. This is how rarity becomes weather. When conflict enters your space, it loses its drama. You do not build an audience for arguments. You open a table for repair. Your language is calm and exact. This happened. This stops. This will be mended. This remains good. You address behavior without rewriting identity. You protect the absent from rumor. You let silence do its holy work until truth arrives wearing humility. You prefer results over righteousness, continuity over conquest, proportion over theater. You lead people back to order, not applause. They leave with tools, not trophies. You've made peace with not being everywhere, so you can be fully where you are. That stillness is magnetic. It whispers to the world that there is enough time to be true. In your presence, brilliance slows down and becomes brilliance again. Tenderness stops apologizing and becomes strength again. The weary stop pretending and become possible again. You didn't earn this by shining. You earned it by keeping vows when no one was watching, and those vows have kept you. 1 in a million is not your audience size. It's your fidelity. Your orbit is steady. Your light is governed. Protect what keeps that light clean. Drink water before offering opinions, so patience grows roots. Take a breath before replying, so tone stays human. Move before reacting, so emotion keeps flowing. Rest before rescuing, so help stays sacred. Pray before performing, so appetite remembers it's a guest. Repair before resentment, so stories don't become scars. Be famous to your routines. They will remember you when the world forgets to. You know your aura is rare in the right way when rooms remain peaceful after you leave, when boundaries hold without guards, when truth walks in without trumpets, when kindness lasts past noon, when laughter still heals. Then your glow has left warmth, not ashes. Light, not spotlight. Walk on, chosen one, carrying a rarity that can't be owned. A life so honest that others remember their own truth by standing near you. There is a form of leadership that doesn't recruit, it releases. When you enter a room now, urgency breaks its fever. Scattered attention gathers back towards center. You don't cause this with noise. You cause it with presence. Your stillness isn't emptiness. It's order. You are the hidden keel beneath the ship, keeping it straight when opinion winds blow. People who've only known silence as punishment confuse your quiet for distance. But your silence is permission. Permission for truth to move at a bearable pace, for dignity to stay intact, for work to begin in peace so it can end clean. Your way of keeping time resets the rhythm of a room. Between their last word and your first breath, something shifts. The air remembers its heartbeat. In that pause, anger forgets its disguise and returns as information. Shame loses its throne and becomes a detail. Humor returns to its holy job, relief instead of domination. You harvest power not from adrenaline, but from presence. Power borrowed from fear always demands repayment. Power born from stillness sustains itself and leaves generosity behind. Because of this, people's bodies relax near you. They stop negotiating for safety. They start telling the truth. You don't force honesty. You make it affordable. You refuse to let performance drain the spirit of the moment. Even your heat has become trustworthy. It's visible, human, sincere, but under oath. Consent stays grammar. Timing stays rhythm. Dignity stays law. Under this order, no is architecture. Yes is clean. And not yet is sacred. The feminine feels it first. Her body remembers rest. Color returns to her tone because your flame stays in a heart. The masculine senses it too. Posture gives way to purpose. Nobody shrinks to fit your power. Everyone expands to meet it. You dissolve conflict without feeding it. You remove the audience first, so quarrels have no stage. You bring problems to the table and name them with peace. This happened. This stops. This will be repaired. This remains good. Under that rhythm, Fury burns out of theater and into clarity. Blame becomes responsibility. The future stops being rumor and becomes plan. You no longer care to impress. You care to align. Proportion is your devotion now. It's love in working clothes. It measures twice, cuts once, and saves the soul from refunds. Your eyes do half the work your mouth doesn't need to. They see without taking. They bless instead of demanding. Under your gaze, masks fall away. The ego stops defending. People risk the second sentence, the one with the truth. The chronic performer retires his blade. The anxious caretaker exhales. Stillness becomes a porch again, not a cliff. You are lowering the cost of honesty until everyone can afford it. Even the furniture remembers you. Doors close softly, as if they still feel your patience. Glass touches the table without verdict. Chairs slide back home. These are not coincidences. They're customs born of care. Hands that set cups down gently will set words down the same way. Feet that make space in crowds will widen narrow hearts. The world learns from what your attention blesses, and you bless gentleness so consistently that strength has become safe again. Your humor doesn't slice, it breathes. It makes room without cutting anyone to buy oxygen. You aim at the knot, not the person tangled in it. 2 notches of peace return, and no blood is lost. People leave lighter. Keep your vows close. Water before opinion. Breath before reply. Motion before mood. Rest before rescue. Prayer before performance. Credit before resentment. Repair before forgetting. None of this will trend, but all of it will last. The proof of your stillness shows up after you leave. If voices remain humane, if boundaries hold themselves, if laughter stays kind, if truth still arrives softly, then your presence did not depend on attention. It depended on order. There are fires that destroy and fires that nourish. You have become the second. Fire, when untended, devours. When tended, it becomes warmth, light, and community. Your flame is now a language, a rhythm between breath and being. It burns when called, glows when not. It knows that intensity without rest loses trust. You are not chosen because you scorch. You are chosen because you sustain. Desire is still your current, but it's disciplined, flowing through consent, pacing with patience, bowing to dignity. You don't audition with heat, you shape with it. The feminine reads this before words. Her beauty no longer has to buy safety. The masculine realizes status can't buy your attention. Only integrity can. His shoulders lower. His focus returns. In such climate, closeness becomes clean if chosen, harmless if declined. You are rare because you can be both bright and optional. Your fire is a forge, not a stage. You place problems, not people, inside it. You heat what's bent until it can be straightened without breaking. When conflict dresses for performance, you dim the lights and open a workshop. You do not hire applause. You build solutions. You aim heat at truth, not faces. The result is stewardship, not ruin. Maturity, not theater. People leave you with tools instead of scars. They remember adulthood as dignity, not thunder. You end your nights while tenderness still breathes. You let mornings find you whole. No one can post this as content, but everyone can live it as culture. That is the arithmetic of your fire. It turns moments into mornings, not fame into hangovers. Guard this sacred flame. Protect both the fire and the chimney. Water before opinion. So patience stays strong. Breath before reply. So words stay kind. Movement before mood. So emotion stays alive. Rest before rescue. So help stays holy. Pray in plain words. So appetite remembers it's a guest. Give credit early. So justice eats before bitterness. Mend while the bruise is pale. So smoke never replaces air. These small habits are sacred maintenance. You will be tempted to sell your glow, to turn your warmth into spectacle, to teach shortcuts to men who want shine without discipline. Decline. Keep your spaces small enough to love and wide enough to matter. Share tools, not mystique. If they ask for your secret, tell them this simple liturgy. Begin when you said, end while tenderness still breathes. Tell the truth at a human temperature. Let humor heal, not harm. Keep desire respectful. Bless boundaries as beauty. Love without theater. Some will be disappointed that greatness hides in chores. Let them be. You are keeping a fire that families and futures can sit beside. The proof of your rarity won't be found in stories told about you, but in the habits that remain when you're gone. Voices still kind, boundaries still strong, laughter still innocent, doors still soft, truth still trusted. If these things remain, your flame has become a hearth. Your life has become a prayer. Walk on, chosen one. Carry a fire that doesn't need a crowd to be real. A warmth that turns strangers into kin, work into worship, and passing hours into mornings that remember how to be kind. When panic leaves leadership, calm returns. People stop performing and start creating. Even silence becomes a friend again. Your presence builds that peace. Consent the grammar, timing the rhythm, dignity the law. A no is beauty. A yes arrives whole. And not yet is wisdom waiting its time. The feminine relaxes. The masculine remembers that truth needs no performance. You protect the absent, speak clearly, and repair without drama. Your words are tools, not trophies. You send credit early and starve resentment. Even small gestures, a glass placed gently, a door closed softly, carry integrity. The world learns its manners from your calm. Your humor heals without harm. You make decency easy to remember. You drink before you speak, breathe before you reply, rest before you rescue. None of this will trend, but all of it will last. Truth is not fireworks. It's furniture. People live on it long after you've gone. Miracles are not interruptions, they're reminders. 1 in a million is not a title, but a covenant kept quietly. The miracle is not that rooms notice you, but that rooms need you less, because you entered rightly. Your energy is governed, not restrained. It invites, never pressures. Desire becomes direction because it serves your values. You practice invisibility that leaves traces. Doors closing softly, laughter kind, apologies early. Walk on, chosen one. Keep your warmth a hearth and your strength a shelter. Let people feel more themselves near you and still more themselves when you're gone. Desire is not scandal, but voltage. Discipline is not denial, it's direction. You carry fire, and fire is for light, for warmth, for creation. You no longer fear your heat. You've learned how to shape it. Desire without craft burns. With craft, it becomes bread and song. And through that mastery, the world remembers how to breathe again.